Hi, I'm Divine Harmony. I'm an astrologer with my master's in depth psychology. Today I'm going to talk to you about the cosmic insight for the week of Monday, August 5th through Sunday, August 11th. The week starts off with a dark moon as the moon is decreasing in light, and then on Tuesday we have a new moon. So the start of the week is all about releasing, letting go, sloughing off, and then on Tuesday the new moon in Leo is like a rebirth. With Leo highlighted, there's new beginnings and times of planting seeds and setting intentions around our personal desires, our creativity, what we want and need, and what's our passion in life. This new moon has the divine feminine all over it. The new moon, Sun conjunct moon, are also conjunct the asteroid goddesses Vesta and Ceres, and then its opposite, the asteroid goddess Juno. That's 3 of the 4 asteroid goddesses showing up in this new moon, which brings in a lot of divine feminine energy and makes it a big focus on the feminine women or feminine energy playing out in our lives. Vesta is the goddess, the Greek goddess of the hearth. She essentially shows where we're deeply committed to something, but also where we can deny our own needs and desires in order to get that end result. Ceres is the asteroid goddess of mothering and nurturing. She's the great mother. And the mother also tends to sacrifice for her children and for others and their needs. So this new moon has this sacrificial energy to it. Now Juno, opposite it, brings in the theme of partnerships and commitments and contractual arrangements. It's essentially a time of getting really clear on what we're committed to, what we're willing to sacrifice, and what we're not. This can play out in relationships, this can play out in finances, this can play out in contractual business arrangements. It can also be an inner process of what is my deepest desire, what is the passion that brings me to life, what am I willing to sacrifice for that, and what am I willing to commit to in greater form so that that can manifest. Pay attention to these themes for you, and also pay attention to where Leo is in your natal chart, because the new moon is helping you to commence a new part of your journey in that area of your chart. For more information, check the weekly horoscopes on my website. On Wednesday, Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, opportunity, opposes Pluto, the lord of the underworld. This commences Jupiter's activation of the Uranus-Pluto square that's going to unfold over the next couple of weeks. Uranus square Pluto is a radical, revolutionary transit of change and transformation. It's also a transit where breakdowns precede breakthroughs. And so anything out of alignment, stuck, stagnant, not really working, Uranus-Pluto comes in and kind of turns things upside down because we need to change. Particularly if we're resistant or attached to the past, it's not a fun transit. But if we're actually opening our arms and embracing change and taking on the new life and letting go of the old life, it can be a very exciting, liberating time. Anytime personal planets come through and trigger Uranus and Pluto, those breakdown and breakthroughs are more prevalent in our lives. So when the sun triggers it, or the moon, or Venus, or Mars, or Mercury, there's a couple day period, sometimes a couple hours when it's the moon, where there's a greater focus on what's moving out and what's coming in, what needs to die and what wants to be rebirthed. When a planet that moves much slower, like Jupiter, is triggering the Uranus-Pluto square, it's even more significant and the effects are even more far-reaching. Jupiter tends to expand whatever he touches. He also tends to exacerbate whatever he touches. Jupiter is the largest planet in our zodiac, and as such, he symbolizes limitlessness, boundlessness. But he's not good with boundaries and limits. He's limitless, he's boundless. And so Jupiter can be like fuel to the fire of Uranus square Pluto. And if the Uranus square Pluto in your life is already really hot, Jupiter can be like throwing grease on the fire. So we need to be aware that the upcoming weeks are heightened in their intensity, and there's this force for change and this force for transformation. And if we're resisting it, it can be an explosion. But if we're facilitating it and supporting our own rebirth, it can actually be an amazing time of making profound shifts. It's all about our perspective, and it's all about how we work with the energy. The week ends with Mercury moving into Leo on Thursday and then squaring Saturn on Sunday. So Mercury, the conscious mind and intellect in fiery, passionate, expressive Leo, He's very much wanting to speak his feelings and speak his truth and be creative and get on stage. And yet, the square to Saturn is this kind of reining it in. That impulse of me, and what I want is being balanced with what's the reality of the situation, what's legally or morally implicated, and what needs to be addressed. It's kind of a time of serious conversations, serious realizations, and then doing something about them. So the week doesn't really end on the most positive note, but it can be very useful if we're addressing what needs to be addressed and then clearing the way so that the new that's coming into our lives actually has space to take root. Yours in the stars.